Hey everyone, I'm the Doc Bob Lee. I'm your host, and you're watching Open. It's that live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. You can stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Now, leading things off, our first guests are the president and CEO of Tourette Association of America, and joining us is their program manager. And they are here with us to speak about the important work that they are doing to raise awareness on Tourette syndrome and TIC disorder, and how they are providing support for people afflicted with this neurological disease. So please welcome to the show Amanda Talty and Brenda Peart. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Good morning.
How are
Thank
you
you for having
guys?
us. Very
Nice to
well,
see
thank you.
you. Tell us right off the bat, how long have you guys been working with this organization, and tell us a little bit about it.
Sure, so I can begin. I've been with the Tourette Association for 6 years. I have been leading it as the CEO for the last four, and our mission is to serve individuals living with Tourette syndrome and tic disorder. So, as you
Yeah.
mentioned, it's a neurological condition. It affects 1 in 50 school-age children. So it's much more widespread than people think,
Yeah.
and we're also really looking to fight the stigma against it. So that's why we're here today to raise awareness.
Yeah. So people watching us right now, some people know what it is, and I know people who are dealing with it. But what is TS and tic disorder?
So it's a neurological condition. So Tourette syndrome is a neurological condition
Yeah.
that manifests in involuntary movements and sounds that one makes. There are also, tic disorders, which don't officially classify as Tourette syndrome, but because Tourette syndrome is such a underserved condition, and there are so many physicians that are not well versed in it, many folks go undiagnosed. So,
Hmm.
tic disorders are also represented by movements and sounds that are not deliberate and they're involuntary.
Yeah. And what is the role of TAA? Anybody can tackle that.
Brenda, why don't you take that one?
Brenda, go ahead.
Well, the role of the TAA is basically to spread awareness and provide supports and resources to people in the community with Tourette syndrome. A lot of times people look at individuals with Tourette syndrome and assume that, they're somebody that they should be afraid of, or they think that Tourette syndrome is that cursing disease like what they see on TV.
Yeah.
And we're here to let people know that that's not true. These are regular people just like you and I who just have a neurological disorder. And we spread awareness
Yeah.
through so many of the programs that we offer, like um, CBIT training, which is a training that teaches individuals with Tourette syndrome how to like redirect their tics. Or we have grant programs to help spread awareness in the community, and we also do things like online support groups so that people with Tourette syndrome can connect and find community and family.
Yeah. Now, when you spread awareness in the community, are you letting people know that there are programs and your organization that can help them to navigate and deal with the neurological condition, or what awareness are you spreading?
Well, uh, I'm sorry, Amanda. well,
No,
one of
no.
the things Well, one of the things we do is we do have online support groups. So our online support groups, we have some for young adults and
Yeah.
we have some for parents. So a lot of parents, when their children are first diagnosed with Tourette syndrome, they're seeking community, they're seeking connection, and they're basically trying to understand what's going on with my child. Or
Yeah.
every parent wants to know, like, is my child functioning the same way as your child, and is my child missing something different? And through the online support groups with the parents, they have an opportunity to discuss
Yeah.
things that are happening with their children. And with the young adult support groups, they're talking about how are they going out into the workforce, how
Hmm.
are they interacting with the community, how are they interacting with peers. So that's one thing. And then we provide webinars. So
Hmm.
in our webinar series, we have doctors and we have people from the community come on and discuss Tourette syndrome, ways to cope, We also talk about medical findings that are going to be coming out as well.
Yeah. Amanda, how does this affect the families that are dealing with this?
Well, it is a childhood onset condition, and because it's so mischaracterized
Yeah.
in so many facets of life. Finding appropriate treatment and care can be very difficult. So many families, it can take upwards of 2 years before they get an official diagnosis. So they're often bounced around from the pediatrician to a
Yeah.
specialist to an allergist, right? And they kind of go through the gamut of treatment. And when you're talking about a child who's between the ages of 5 and 7, that's a very stressful time. They're first going into school.
Yeah.
So the unknown and the often misdiagnosis of the condition
Hmm.
really can affect the entire family, and certainly the life of the child who's living with the condition.
Yeah. Does it ever go undiagnosed? I mean, some people will think it's an allergy or something like that. Does it ever go undiagnosed?
So the CDC estimates that 50% of all cases of Tourette syndrome and tic disorders are going currently undiagnosed.
Hmm.
So what we know, and we are a national organization, so we have support groups and chapters all across the U.S. in addition to the resources and tools that we have on our
Hmm.
website for folks who are looking to learn more. But what we know is because the behaviors that can be exhibited when you have TS or have a tic disorder, because they are involuntary but can sometimes appear deliberate. We
Yeah.
know children that are undiagnosed have a much harder time in the classroom environment than compared to their peers, because they are being treated as having behavioral issues, and it is not understood that what a teacher or a principal
Yeah.
is observing in a classroom environment is unintentional. So it is very challenging, and it is a lifelong condition. TS
Yeah.
does not go away. So these are problems that can extend well into adulthood as well.
Brenda, what are some of the symptoms and when do you find out that a person is beginning to take on a neurological situation like this?
So some of the symptoms are motor and vocal tics. So you have to have, before you can even be diagnosed with Tourette syndrome, you have to have both motor and vocal tics for at least a year before you can have a Tourette syndrome diagnosis.
Ah,
So a motor tic might be a persistent cough or a persistent sound, and uh, a vocal tic, I'm saying.
yeah,
And a motor tic might be some kind of persistent involuntary movement. So it could be
yeah.
like persistent eye blinking, hand movement, head jerking, anything like that.
Is it can it be passed down from parent to child? Is it hereditary or
It is genetic.
it is
There are
genetic?
some genes. Yeah, they have been able to identify 5 genes that play a role in Tourette syndrome. So when we
Mhm.
say it's genetic, it is genetic the same way height and eye color are genetic. So it takes a lot of genes to come together to develop Tourette syndrome or a tic disorder. It is
Yeah,
not like, let's say, a condition where there's a singular gene, or in the case of Down syndrome, where it's a chromosomal issue and we can clearly identify it. There are a number of factors that come
yeah,
into play, but we do see that it is highly heritable.
yeah. You do have a gala coming up. Touch us with that briefly.
So actually, we had our gala on November 10th.
Uh,
It was really a fabulous event. We're celebrating 50 years of the Tourette Association of America, as many patient advocacy associations were started. Ours was started
yeah,
around a kitchen table by 4 families right here in our offices that we now call home in Bayside. So 4 families around a kitchen table founded the organization, and we've been going 50 years strong. So it was a wonderful event. We were able to raise over $1 million for our
great.
cause, but as far as you can imagine, with the underdiagnosis rate and everything else that we are dealing with, we can always use more support, and we certainly need more advocates.
Well, we're gonna throw everything right there, and we'll be sure to try to join next year's gala. But Brenda, Amanda,
Yeah.
we thank you guys so much Is there everything that you did is on the website, right? All the information, we can go there and find out more?
Everything's right there on our website, Tourette.org.
Tourette.org. Thank you so much. Amanda Talty, the President and Chief Executive Officer, Tourette Association, and Brenda Peart. Thank you so much, Program Director. Thank you, the manager. We appreciate you guys, and you're always welcome. My house is your house. You're always welcome to come back and do more.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back with a whole lot more right here on Open next.